Because of the Dalet again.
Yeah,
We are Perek Chav Gimel, Pashas Emor. Perek Chav Gimel, Pasuk Yud Dalet. 23:14. Yeah, it's 14 here. Okay, Yaakov, you?
Velechem and bread, v'kali v'karmel, or parched grain, or
Koli, how to parch Koli is actually, the Rashi explain, is flour made from roasted grain. The caramel is the roasted grain itself, the kernels, right? Lo yisochlu.
You shouldn't eat.
Mustn't eat.
Yeah, it's until this very day. Ad habi achem, until you have brought et korban aleichem, Elohechem, the offering of your God, chukat olam, it's a statute forever, l'dorotechem,
throughout your generations,
b'chol mishpotechem, in all your dwellings. So, let's look at Rashi, or parched grain, v'kali, you said it was kama asub,
caramel.
A flour made of tender kernels.
Right. Which means, I explained yesterday,
which are parts of enough.
That if anybody's familiar with the grain growing process, even when the grains are ripe, when they're fresh, they're not harvested yet, generally, because you want it to, it's much easier to process the grain when it's already dried out. Not entirely dried out, but it's in. When it's dried out, you leave it in the sun for some time, and after you've left it in the sun, right, then the kernel is somewhat drier. It's much easier to take off the stalk, much easier to take off to winnow it, to take off the husk. It's always much easier, and it's the kernel itself can be ready to be ground.
Right.
So, however, there's an alternative to that, which it's obviously a different quality product, is you take the fresh grains and roast them. Okay, excuse my negative, I just have to use the bathroom. They're remaining in the field to dry out. Yeah. So sometimes they harvest the fresh grain and they dry it artificially, meaning they put it in an oven and they let it dry out that way. That's what it means. Kemach osu mikarmel. Flour which is made from fresh kernels, right? Which are
toasted in an oven.
Right, dried out, right? More like.
With caramel or fresh ears, or ripe ears.
Granules. Granules. Same as a similar word. Okay, means these are the actual kernels, but
granules en français.
Right. Yeah. It's the granules which are being made into, also being dried out. And this is the kernels. Okay? Right. So the pasuk is telling you you're not allowed to eat anything of the new produce, whether it be bread or flour or the kernels themselves, the roasted kernels themselves. You mustn't eat. Ad etzem hayom hazeh. Okay? We discussed this yesterday that they brought when there was a Beis Hamikdash, then they had to wait till they brought the korban in order to be able to eat from the new produce. When they didn't bring the korban, when there wasn't a Beis Hamikdash, then the Torah is telling you, as soon as sunrise, as soon as the day of the 16th of Nisan,
which is the second.
It's the second day of Pesach, right? The day after, not the day after Pesach, the day after the first day of Pesach.
Evening or evening.
The second day of Pesach, in other words, the 16th of Nisan. Yeah. As soon as you have daybreak of the 16th of Nisan, then if they didn't bring the korban or weren't going to bring the korban, they could already eat from the produce there.
That's a barley.
That's etzem hayom hazeh.
That's a barley, and then they could eat.
You're right. No, it means that was it just didn't permit barley. It permitted all produce.
Oh, I see. Right.
But it only permitted it for regular use, not for use as korbanos. That's what we're going to see. It was only on Shavuos, when they brought the 2 loaves, that was the first korban brought from the new grain. And that's why the korban of Shavuos is called bikurim. First fruits, because it was the first meal offering brought from the new grain and only that had to be the first meal offering brought from the new grain, and then afterwards they could bring, person privately could bring his own offering from the new grain. But between Pesach and Shavuos, any private offering had to be brought from the old grain, from the previous year's crop, and not from
you know the crop. But in the temple they only had the what temple? It wasn't. They weren't allowed to use bread. What you call it?
Barley?
Or bread type of thing.
Chometz.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they brought meal offerings from matzah.
Or
from matzah, or from just...
But not wheat.
No, wheat.
Oh, wheat. Right.
Where'd you make what's matzah made from?
Wheat. What do you mean? It was prepared different.
Right.
Oh,
okay.
Right, so in all your dwellings.
Now we have to the HaKodesh Seichem. Now this is interesting. Now what is the implication? You should... this law applies. It's an everlasting step for you in all your generations. In all your dwellings.
Yeah.
How would you understand that? All your dwellings?
Wherever you live.
That means wherever you are, even not in Eretz Yisrael.
Oh.
So look at the Rashi now.
So the sages are right. Now, the wise men of Israel differ regarding this statement. Yesh shalamdu mikan. There are some who derive from here.
Chadash.
Noheg b'chutza.
B'chutza la'aretz.
That the law that pertains to new produce applies beyond the land of Israel.
Yeah, b'chutza, even the chutza. Meaning, even grain which is grown in the what you call it, the prairies.
Of Canada.
Right, grown in the prairies of where it is in
Canada.
Wisconsin, I don't know.
Alberta.
Alberta, yeah, but I'm saying, but where's the northern states there?
Where do you go?
Wisconsin?
Wheat.
On the plains and the prairies?
Plains and the prairies.
Wisconsin, Midwest of the States.
Whatever, I'm saying, but in the States as well, whatever, they have in the northern states.
Iowa,
yeah. Okay, Indiana, no?
Right.
Right? So, there, even wheat grown there has an issa of Chodesh.
Does it or not?
Okay, so there's a difference of opinion. And there's a machlokes how we pass it.
Oh, I see, right. I thought everything that any laws to do with agriculture really is only for Israel.
Oh, you're saying a very good point.
Yeah.
Because generally that is the general...
So why did they introduce...
so the only thing is, this only here by the din of Chodesh, right, this of new produce, it says, everywhere else it says, when you come to the land, then this law applies.
But all law?
Not
all law.
Well, it's also, there's a machlokes Gabi Orla as well.
Is it a machlokes?
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway, Gabi Trumas and Maestras, Gabi Shvius, Leket Shikon Peah, all these laws pertaining to the land, they all only apply to Eretz Yisrael. Okay? However, here, because the Pasuk says especially, wherever you live, not just in Eretz Yisrael. So that's, according to this opinion, that's telling us it even applies in Chutz.
So what's the din?
1 second.
And others who say that this comes only to teach that they were not commanded al HaKodesh regarding new produce Yerusha, yes,
only after
inheriting and settling the land of Israel.
After they conquered the land and divided it out, which means as follows. When they came into the land of it took them 7 years to conquer the land. And then it took them another 7 years to everybody to settle all their differences and decide where each person is going to receive his portion. Okay? And only after the end of the 14 years, only then, so according to this opinion, only then did the Issa of Chodesh start. Till then, they could eat straight away. Okay?
But growing fruit is a different situation.
Sorry?
Growing fruit that you can't
fruit anyway, you have to wait 3 years. You have to wait 3 years.
Nothing to do with the land.
No, but the din of Chodesh would also apply It's not really
applicable, but it's not good.
I'm not sure it applies to fruit. Could be only applies to grain, I'm not sure. I don't know. Okay, Akoponim, I mentioned this yesterday, it can often happen in especially you have, especially in recent years, they have winter wheat or oats.
Yes.
So the halach is as follows. Anything planted before Pesach, let's say this year, Tovshin Ayin Ches, that is already, as soon as you have the 16th of Nisan this year, permitted anything that had already been planted this year. Even though it's going to be harvested in August, September, October, if it was planted before Pesach, right, before the 16th of Nisan, then the fact that now comes the 16th of Nisan, after the 16th of Nisan, it's permitted. So therefore, even if it's only harvested later, that's okay. Where the problem arises, if it was planted after the 16th of Nisan, and it was harvested, let's say in the middle of winter or sometime like that, before the following Pesach. So that grain is asa till the following Pesach. It's called the Isav Chodesh. Now, if it only applies to grain grown in Eretz Yisrael, that's no problem. Whatever, you can take your, Quaker oats, right, which are grown, I don't know where they are, or the grown in the, in Russia, the steppes of Russia, they're out there in the plains of
Oklahoma.
Right, whatever it is in the Midwest there, or in Canada, whatever, all the huge grain country, okay? So therefore, even if it was the thing, no problem, you can eat it. However, according to the first opinion mentioned over here, then it also applies to Chutz La'aretz, then that's also to eat till Pesach. L'maisa, lahalacha, there's a big machlokas poskim, and those who are mekel, many there's Pashtus is the shit of the Bach by Chodesh. He says he can be mekel and in Chutz La'aretz you don't have to be particular about Chodesh. However, in recent years, Baruch Hashem, people have become a little more particular about kashrus, and therefore, where possible, I must tell you, all hechsherim which are given here in Eretz Yisrael on products are given on Chodesh as well. Meaning, so you can be pretty sure that if, let's say, I give you an example, you have a can of cornflakes or Quaker oats or something like that, which has a good hechsher, and it says on it, it will say on it, Yoshon, old. Right? It doesn't mean it's off the shelves from 2 years ago. Right? It means it hasn't got the Isav Chodesh. It's not new products. It's Yoshon. It means when it was packed, it was already past Pesach, and therefore it was perfectly okay to eat. Okay?
Does wheat keep? I don't understand that.
Wheat keeps a long time.
Forever, yeah.
Yeah, sure. If it's obviously
so when you
stored,
have a Chodesh, it could be moldy.
Whatever, if it's stored under proper
Right conditions.
Yeah. As I say, in regular circumstances, when you have regular wheat, which is normally planted in midwinter, right? In November time, right? And then harvested, it's ready, fully ripe, come Shavuos time, or whatever, actually even ready around now, Nisan, ready becomes fully ripe. It's left in the field to dry out. And Shavuos is called Chag HaKatzir, harvest festival. Why is that? Because that was the time they used to harvest things. Basically from Shavuos time till the middle of the summer. That was the time when they used to do the grain harvest. Because that's when it's ready, the sun is strong, it's dried out somewhere in the fields, and that's when they were doing. So in the regular circumstances, you don't have really a problem, because that wheat was planted before Pesach, and it's only harvested after Pesach. The only problem arises in these things like oats and things like that, which have a different cycle. Okay? Let's go on.
Which one goes
Pasuk Tes Vov. Got your first name?
Gadi.
Gadi. You want to write me Pasuk Tes Vov.
הסברתי לכם אותך שגם לא תהיה לכם ארץ צרופה, 7 שבתות לא תהיינה. should count for the
yourself.
day after the Shabbat. Well, Shabbat is.
Well, we'll see. So you should count for yourselves from the day after
Sorry, you
Shabbat.
said Shabbat and you say it's after the day after the Shabbat of Pesach.
Well, we're going to see Rashi's going to mention that.
We already cannot you bring the measure of the
Waving, right, all right. Omer, the Omer means the measure. The Omer measure, the waved over Omer measure.
Wave measure. 7 weeks, 7 perfect weeks.
Complete weeks. Sheva Shabbos Timosim. There should be 7 complete weeks. Means you have to count 7 complete weeks.
That's why
49
we
days.
we start counting exactly what's the Pesach.
Right.
And we don't daven morning for Shavuot until after 6 o'clock.
Right.
So it's exactly 7
In order, there should be a full 49 days. Very good. Okay. Let's see the Rashi here. You have it in the second column there. Let's go to the bottom. Shabbat. Oh, sorry. Before that, Mimachras HaShabbos.
Ruach Shabbat, Ruach Yom Tov, day after Yom Tov.
Yeah. Now, this actually is a subject, major dispute between the Chachamim and the Sadducees. Like the Tzedukim by Tusim. What? No, not correct. The Gemara says it's Tzedukim and by Tusim.
By Tusim, I heard that before.
Right? Yeah, I don't know how the Sadducees and the, I don't know how you translate that in terms in English. Anyway, they were the ones who went away from the traditional the soret of the Torah, and they sort of basically, the idea was behind them was to the modernization of Judaism, that they tried to make out that they were learned as well. So they said, well listen, whatever is said in the Torah, that's what we'll keep. Whatever, they disputed the fact that who told you Chachamim have the right to interpret the Torah the way you did? We can interpret it differently.
What was so wrong in Hashem not saying Menaharat Pesach?
Why is the term used?
Why use on Pesach?
Oh, you're asking a very good question. That is a very good question. Why, Dafka the Torah, did you use this
to
term?
confuse them and then making all this machlokas.
It's unlikely.
Right,
because
so,
I want to tell you something. We have a rule.
Yeah, that's the idea of
There's a
doing
pasuk,
Torah.
the last pasuk in Sefer Hosea. He said on the Haftarah of Shabbos Shuvah. Yishorim darkei Hashem. Tzadikim yelchu bam u'poshim yikoshlu bam. Right? Okay? That the ways of Hashem are straight. The righteous follow the path, and the wicked stumble upon it. Which means you can have something which is better than the same thing. It's really a straight path. The people who will warp what's really straight, and they'll stumble upon it.
So Hashem wants to make it a mystique, not for us to delve into.
So I can explain to you that there's a very good explanation why it's called Shabbos.
Yeah,
Okay?
no, but why didn't you use Pesach?
Why do you interpret it? Because the Torah Dafka wants, in this particular situation, wants to indicate to us that every Yom Tov has an aspect of Shabbos to it.
Holiness,
Yeah, and it's also the point of Shabbos. What is special about every Shabbos week? We call Shabbos Bereshis, which means every 7th day of the week. Why are we told to stop work?
Yeah.
Why do we cease from work all
To
day?
realise that you've got to rest like Hashem rested.
What does it mean Hashem rested?
Well, he didn't say that. He do what he did.
The idea is that Ba'etzem, when it means Hashem rested, on the 6 days of creation, HaKodesh Baruch Hu created a system of what we call nature, which is basically a system which hides the obvious hand of Hashem in running creation. Right. Meaning, so really, Hashem is running creation every single second of the day. But HaKodesh Baruch Hu created a system of nature that a person can be deluded in thinking everything's on automatic. There is nobody running the show. However, Shabbos, HaKodesh Baruch Hu stopped that. He says, I'm giving you 1 day a week, and I'm saying, this day you should realize you stop doing anything. It's not you at all. Everything is me. Only I'm doing that. Oh, I'm running the show. That's the idea of Shabbos. So in the same effect, Yom Tov is also called Shabbos, and I mentioned yesterday Shvius, the 7th year, the Shemitah year, is also called Shabbos. Because each one in an aspect shows, the idea of it is to show that HaKodesh Baruch Hu is running the show. Yes?
When the Chol Shabbos shows that Hashem's running the show then?
Correct? He's saying, I need to do something on Shabbos because when he doesn't need to. He does a creative on Shabbos, means saying, I need to drive my car on Shabbos. Right? I need to, when really I should be using this day to testify that Hashem, I don't need to ride my car on Shabbos, I don't need to write on Shabbos, I don't need to do any creative action. Because Shabbos is the day, Hashem's in charge of everything. He's running the show. That's why it's called Shabbos. But then, I mentioned yesterday, I started mentioning, the idea of Shabbos as well is that not just Hashem created everything, but Hashem is running the show on a constant basis. So there's two aspects. It means that Hashem is all-powerful, He can do anything. That was Pesach. And that Hashem is constantly running the show at every single hour. He didn't give up just by creation at certain points in time. Every single moment of the day, HaKodesh Baruch Hu is running the show. That's the idea of the 7th year, Shemitah year. And the farmer can give up the entire year, give up his parnasa. He says, listen, no, I'm not doing any agriculture, I'm not doing anything for it. I'm not doing anything.
Enjoy. Great. Thank you.
That
Thanks for coming.
that is a declaration that Hashem's in
Come
charge.
again.
And that's what the aspect of Shabbos is. Okay, well guys, we have to stop here.
Stephen,
There's Hashem.